Well, hello, my friends. Welcome back. We are joined with Miss Maddie here up at Bloomin' Easy. We took a Canadian road trip because we want to talk fall foliage. We want to talk about not just designing with pretty flowers in the summertime, but we want to talk about why it is so important that you design with the full life cycle of the garden in mind. So today, Maddie and I are geeking out over our favorite season, which is fall. We are going to go around. We want to show you what is just killing us right now in the fall garden.
And some unconventional fall foliage, which you typically wouldn't pick, but I think we're going to have some fun with.
I want to hit it off first with a selection that is blowing my little mind. I love it so much. It's insane. I never would have picked it for a summer garden, but in fall, I want this planted everywhere. And I do mean everywhere. I feel like we're starting off strong here because Maddie walked me into the garden and she was like, "You are never going to believe cherry go round." And I was like, "Cherry go round, that red hydrangea?" And we walked in and I was just like, I was gobsmacked. Take it away, Maddie.
This is actually one of my personal favorite hydrangeas because of the fall color. It's bright red in the summer, and then as it ages, it gets to this beautiful antique red that adds so much dimension in your garden. And typical hydrangeas will go brown, and these will eventually get there. But before they do that, they go here. So this hydrangea zones 5 to 9, 2 to 3 feet tall and wide, part sun, your typical MAC, but it has something extra special, and that's its fall color.
This fall foliage is so insane. I don't think I've ever seen a MAC hydrangea do what this is doing. I mean, I'm gonna have Brian bring you in close and look at these florals. If you are at all inspired by Goth gardening, this is for you.
This is so for you. And it may not be Goth in the summer, but once fall hits, it gets that spooky vibe and it really plays with that.
Oh, it plays with it so well. Also, this is sophisticated, deep, velvety, yummy. I mean, honestly, I talked about this all throughout lunch and I'm still talking about it. This is honestly, I think, the most unexpected, sensational hydrangea that you guys have in the collection right now.
And I'm a big crafter, and this is one of my favorite hydrangeas to play with because it holds its color so well when you dry it and looks so good in table centers and wreaths and whatever else you want to do with your dried hydrangeas.
Now, one thing I do for my clients is I will create separate mood boards for their garden. I will create seasonal mood boards because a garden is a living, breathing thing. And so oftentimes what I suggest to people is take a snapshot of all the plants in your garden in each season. So during the summer, you could have a bold, red, vibrant color story going on, and then your fall story could just descend into this moody, deep, kind of burnished velvet vibe. And by having a little collage of each season saved on your phone, when you're at the nursery, it's so easy to shop for what your garden needs.
Exactly. Yeah. You need that reference because nobody remembers. I don't remember.
No.
And I'm out here every day. So
it's called garden amnesia. Like we're so excited for the next season. We forget everywhere we've been. And so that's how I handle garden amnesia, which is a thing.
And it's such a great tip.
Okay, can we also take a minute for Maddie and her nail inspiration? This is so good. I vote we all paint our nails to match our favorite plants in the garden. My next pick for fall color, honestly, I want to bring you guys really kind of left of center, plants you wouldn't naturally think of when you think of fall color, and a Weigela. Let's have a minute for a Weigela, specifically the shrub Weigela. Holy cow. She's gorgeous.
She is. This is a really fun plant because it has all seasons of color. Fall, of course, is gorgeous, but it comes out in the spring fiery red. It goes bright green with hot pink blooms, and then we get this show later in the season.
This is one of those plants where when I first saw it, I was like, this has so much dynamic range, and I started noticing that pattern over and over and over again. So when you're selecting your plants, are you ticking those boxes? Are you just like, yep, give me all 4 seasons?
Absolutely. So we have a small team on site, and we call it our trial team, and we walk every single week year round. We want to see what the plant is doing every single season. Is it going to be gorgeous in the spring? Does it look like not so great in the spring? And those are what determines our selections, if it's giving more than just one season. because we want more than just one season.
Yeah, I think this is especially really important. I talk about this a lot when you're doing a small garden. the smaller your garden, the more heavy lifting your shrubs, your trees, your perennials, they just have to lift more. And this is one of those items, because of its size, because of its kind of incredible show from spring all the way through fall. This is a really incredible selection if you've got a small garden, maybe a townhome. This is another one that is absolutely spectacular. All right, let's hit the folks. Let's hit the folks with some stats.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Zones 4 to 7, 3 feet tall and wide, and full sun.
Great, love it. So this is up to a zone 7. However, this actually, Weigelas do beautiful in our Pacific Northwest maritime climate.
Yeah.
And so technically I could plant this as a zone 8 plant and it would be totally fine.
Yeah.
This next one, all right, if you watched we did a tour basically of all of my favorites. When was that? Was that end of May?
Yeah, it was pretty early in the spring.
It was early.
Yeah.
And this torch hydrangea behind me that is currently eating me alive was one of my top picks because the form is so gorgeous. Okay, Brian, I don't know if you can do this, but can you insert like footage of Maddie and I from the spring? Because the change is insane and the color on this is fabulous.
It is. And one of the my favorite things about this plant is it's the earliest blooming paniculata that we have, hardy hydrangea. And then, so we get that super early, and then we get this late into the fall.
This is doing so much heavy lifting. Also, can you see the size that it's put on? I mean, when we were here, these little guys were like belly button height, about belly button height. And now I am literally being dwarfed in the garden. So if you have a little bit more space to play with, this is incredible. Also, you put in a drift of these and it's spectacular. I would say that what's so funny is it almost looked to me like a twig dogwood from the distance, which is also known for their beautiful fall foliage. So, y'all, this torch hydrangea is so good. It's so good. Oh, hit the people with some stats.
And it zones 3 to 8 and 5 feet tall and wide.
This is up a little hill from me. And I'm 5'4" on a good day. This one I talked about in the last video, but designing with the torch is so great because you get that really beautiful vase shape. Okay, another thing that I love to do, this is one of my favorite things in the whole world, is a hardy geranium, Roseanne. She's squirrely, but if you plant that geranium at the base of this torch hydrangea, what'll oftentimes happen is you get this big blousiness, but Roseanne will make her way up through the hydrangea. Have you ever seen this?
No.
Yeah, I love to do this. I plant it all the time. And so what's really cool is as your torch is blooming, you'll have little pops of geranium Roseanne popping up in it. It's just the most magical because I can always tell a garden is happy when all my plants are playing together. So that's one of my favorite ways to design with a paniculata.
That is so fun. I will be going to buy that in the spring.
Perfect. Friends, I want to introduce you to a plant that I've actually been playing with a lot this year. I'm trialing it in a client's garden, and this is the Pinky Promise Snowberry. Now, what's really fun about this one is the client that I am trialing this with, she's using it as part of her cutting garden, because this is so sensational. Now, what's interesting that I didn't know, and we haven't had our first frost yet, but you guys have.
We have had a couple frosts so far.
Okay.
So you can kind of see that the berries are looking a little white, and you're like, why are we calling it Pinky Promise? Shouldn't it be pink? It is pink in the early fall, but as it cools off, it gets whiter and whiter and whiter until eventually they finish.
So what's been really fun to observe with this one is the blue, there's like a certain blue quality to the leaf, which is really cool. And then the pink, when it emerges, it's not quite bubblegum, but it's like this, it's the happiest baby pink.
It is.
And what my client is doing is she's cutting on it and using it in different floral arrangements. And so you get this kind of like playful bubblegum ball within really beautiful floral arrangements. And it's such a great way to kind of riff on a native in our region as well.
Yes. Yeah, that's a big thing right now. Natives are huge, and anytime that we can kind of play into that field, we love to do it. It's of course great for the pollinators, great for the climate, great for the environment.
But natives are such a hot buzz word, but a lot of people are not necessarily attracted to a native garden straight out the gate.
Absolutely.
And so having a snowberry that leans in that direction, that riffs on that kind of native inspired landscape, but makes it modern and I think a little bit more playful.
Yeah.
Super duper fun. Did we mention zones already?
We have not mentioned zones. So this plant is zones 3 to 7, 3 feet tall and wide, and full sun.
And also, by the by, I am test driving this in my garden, so fully able to stretch, in my experience, into a zone 8 garden in the maritime climate. We are about ready to show you our new favorite grass. This is one of my new favorite grasses. This is a Schizachyrum. I probably mispronounced it because I'm a human, but this is called Little Red Fox. And I use this in the display garden we did. Updates coming, but a grass for fall and winter interest.
Yes.
I have to say, if your landscape feels static, add a grass. If you don't have any way for the wind to interact in your garden, add a grass. If you don't have any fluffy, tufty bits, add a grass. This thing is so good. And I've been creeping on this because it also has a blue tint to the foliage, a little bit of red, and it almost looks iridescent.
It does. Yeah, when it first comes out, it has that blue feel to it, and then it gets that purple, and then we get to this red color. And of course, all the little fluffy bits at top, which are just the cutest.
The fluffy bits, I think the fluffy bits are my favorite. Okay, these could be amazing in a vase, on a tabletop. And please do leave all of your fluffy bits up throughout the winter because it is incredible foraging material for all of our little animal friends that we want in our gardens. So again, you guys, Little Red Fox, this has to be, I think, one of my favorite surprises from Bloomin' this year.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. And everybody loves a grass. And we needed a grass in our collection, and we got so lucky with this one.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the color range, again, you guys are not just thinking about like how it's emerging, but how it is finishing. It is not just how you start, it's how you end too. I love it. Okay, did we do facts? Did we do state?
Zone 5 to 8 and 2 to 3 feet tall and wide.
I love it. Oh my God, this one is so good, you guys. Hunt this down. You will not regret it. You guys, it doesn't recede either. Okay, that's it. The next one I want to talk about. This is the Starfield hydrangea, and this is something that I play with in my garden. I love a floral that ages in such a different, unusual way. Now, Starfield comes out like kind of a fresh pink, I would say. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, definitely a lighter pink.
Yes, and then as our temps cool, we're not just experiencing fall foliage, which is actually really cute, getting this little antique-y edge, but the raspberry from these blooms is insane.
Yes, and one of the things that we love so much about this plant is that it keeps blooming until frost. And we've had 2 frosts already. They've been light frost, but still frost, and they're still going, and they're still getting this deeper and deeper raspberry. I don't actually know if I could say this, so feel free to cut it. When we got this plant, the breeder had told us that this plant flowers, and clearly it does.
Okay, this is hilarious. So what's so cool is this is also really interesting. It almost feels like the petals that are more buried and protected keep more of that softer pink.
They do.
And the outside ones are raspberry.
Yeah, anything that's exposed to that frost just really deepens the color.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have Brian come in close because the second you part this like raspberry sorbet, you get some of that little pink. It gives such incredible dimension. And I just hope this is inspiration for all of you out there that when you're designing for fall, choose a floral that is just gonna give you drama in the season and help transition you towards those kind of like colder months when we're inside.
Yeah.
And bonus tip, the heuchera that you have planted below it, when you turn over that leaf, it is an awesome pink that does nothing but highlight and marry together this landscape. Well done, Starfield. Okay, hit us with some facts for this one.
Okay, so this is zones 5 to 9, 3 feet tall and wide, part sun.
At my feet is Spice Curls heuchera. I'm literally removing a leaf. Okay, you get this incredible like greeny with a little bit of silver here, but you flip this sucker over. This is my favorite type of heuchera where you get like an incredible back end. Look at that situation. There's so much ready plum coming through this that it does nothing but marry this Starfield further down into place. I mean, this is, you guys, so spectacular. One of your power ranges is the Physocarpus, the 9-bark. I love them so much. They're such a beautiful staple in the landscape. The one behind me is Calico Kitty. and it is just starting to turn.
It is, yeah. It gets this beautiful red color later in the fall. We can show you deep in here what it's going to look like. This is a really exciting introduction for us. It's very low with powdery mildew. We've yet to see any issues. It has a small leaf, so it has this really delicate texture, and it has these super cute little blooms that are still blooming.
This is nuts. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but like this is crazy that you still have blooms on this thing.
Yes, yeah, and they're the sweetest little pink blooms that just cover the entire thing. And it has such a whimsical feel. And for a dark plant, I feel like you don't always get that whimsical feel, so that's why I really love this one.
Yeah, dark plants can be really heavy in the landscape unless you kind of come at them with a playful approach. But this is one because of the blooms, which have like, I mean, what color would you even call this? It's like a dusty rosy,
It is like a dark dusty rose. There's a lot of words to make a color, but
oh, okay. Here's the deal. If I am designing with this, I love to throw this in here with like a penstemon or something with a raspberry bloom, because what it does is it pulls through the same undertone. It's so good. Okay. Yeah. Also, I have pocket treasures. Okay, I have pocket treasures. Here we go. Are you ready? So do you remember how I just pulled a sweet little leaf off of this Heuchera? This is Spice Curls, which actually I wasn't even going to talk about today, but like it's fall and it's a Heuchera. I feel like those are synonymous. Okay, this is an incredible, incredible little tiny frilly bit to plant with the Physocarpus, because you get this drama mama moment. This I feel like leans into that goth garden trend. Yes. But then when you turn it around, you get the playfulness of pulling up a gorgeous underside of a leaf. It is so fun. In fact, I want to do like this Physocarpus with this Heuchera and then bring in Starfield.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, right?
Brian, are you going to bring some
Brian,
Starfield?
Are you bringing Starfield? Is my brain? Yes! Okay. All right. I'm just hoping we don't get kicked out of Bloomin' Easy. But look at this. Do you see how we've got bright green here? We've got the dark foliage. The deep kind of like reddy undertones of this purple are pulling into our Starfield. And then we anchor it with a little dramatic Heuchera with a fun, playful backside. You guys, this is a combination. You want an easy combination for your garden? Here she is.
This is zones 3 to 7.
And she is this big. But in all seriousness, like she's not going to be much more than 5 feet tall. No. I would say about 3, maybe 5 feet wide, but mostly in that 3 to 4 foot wide range. So one thing that I don't hear a lot of people talking about is rose hips, and specifically choosing varieties of roses that are going to throw a rose hip, because it is such a quintessential fall and winter thing, don't you think?
Absolutely. Having this pop of orange in your garden, it brings such life to something that has been essentially spent. The flowers are spent, but it leaves behind this beautiful pop of color.
Yeah, I think for me, when I think about a rose hip, I don't mean to get like so like sentimental about it, but it's honoring the whole life cycle of the plant, not just in this beautiful flowering prime, but it really does honor what the plant does, and this gorgeous highlight to the season. It also just reminds me, it's very Beatrix Potter, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, so much so.
I love it. So you guys, cinnamon hearts, this one I think throws spectacular rose hips, and tons of them. So in terms of zoning, this one does have a very wide range.
Yes, so this is from a Canadian breeding program. There are zones 3 to 9.
So, I mean, you want range? We're giving you range. Oh, for all my friends in Manitoba, this is for you, zone 3 Manitoba. So zones 3 to 9, and height on this?
2 to 3 feet tall and wide. So this is about how big it's gonna get.
Really, really well behaved. I feel like this is perfect, like mid-border. You can put a couple cute things in its feet. You can put plenty of things at its back, but mid-border, this is going to shine with these incredible hips.
Yes, they're big, they're juicy, and they show off in the landscape.
Oh, I love it, love it. All right, we're gonna hit our friends out there with one last fall interest, fall foliage pick. This is one I have been tracking. I have been tracking its movements, and it's so far great in the spring, great in the summer, and the fall color on this is not to be missed. We are ending on a high note with this is not only a personal favorite plant, but this is also a personal favorite fall color, because I think immediately we always think like oranges, reds. For my money, these like purpley undertones, like they drive me bananas. They're so good. And we are at the entrance to the Bloomin' Easy World Headquarters, and we are here with a Hydrangea crucifolia. This is Toy Soldier.
And you can see why we called it Toy Soldier, because if you look, this whole crop is beautifully uniformed. Everything is upright, the same size and the same shape, and keeping that nice tight form.
Yeah, what's really also another massive standout is when I'm shopping for clients and I know I want to put in an oak leaf hydrangea, it is actually really, really hard to get a good oak leaf hydrangea in a pot. But every time I go into the nursery, without fail, they have Toy Soldier and it looks phenomenal. Like, I don't even know how you guys did it, but every single can is perfection. And then of course, gorgeous blooms, lovely shape. And when you approach fall, this, my friend, it does not get much more elegant than this. It is so sumptuous. Okay, Maddie, it's fact time.
It is zones 5 to 9 and about 4 to 5 feet tall and wide, and loves full sun.
And honestly, we are just starting to turn here. Yeah. This Toy Soldier it'll do nothing but get more and more spectacular as the months progress. So phenomenal, phenomenal selection. All right, you guys, thank you for coming to Canada with me and Bloomin' Easy. I'm so happy to just like once again be here and like check on our baby plants and see how everyone is doing. It's just, I love being here and I love being with you guys.
And we love having you come up and getting a view of our plants through a designer's eye. It's been so fun, and I have so many more ideas for next year.
Well, it's kind of, I'm always like, okay, what's my plant and how do we get to play with it? And the ideas, they just keep coming. So thank you so much for coming along. I'm gonna see you in the next one. And as always, please say hello to your garden for me.